Hey everybody, it's Lee again. We're going to take a look at some cool from the ground rigging techniques. This will help you out a lot, especially if you have limited tools. All you're going to need is a rope, a good pole saw, if you have it, a power pole saw, which would be handy. But just with a rope and a pole saw, you can do a lot of work that most people wouldn't expect you to be able to do, and you won't have to climb. So right here we have a common situation, a neighboring tree. This is a Leland cypress growing out over the property so much that it's overly shaded. If anything crosses your property line here in this state, which is Oregon, we're able to trim anything that comes across the property line up to a reasonable distance and maintaining the health of the tree at the same time. So we'd never remove more than 20% of the tree's crown at any one time. Any more than that could be dangerous to the tree. Yes, sometimes they say 30%, but when you're dealing with different types of trees, less is better. So in this tree, what we're going to do is we're going to need to set up some rigging points because this is a very nice custom fence. We don't want this fence getting scraped, destroyed in any way, so we're going to set up another rigging point. The way to do that with a false crotch system is to take your pole saw. We're going to be using a pole saw from Oregon Arboriculture with the quick release and quick attachment system. We're just going to stick our carabiner with our rope on here, and I'm going to get up here to a branch that's further out than my work. So here's a nice one right here, about probably 18 feet up. And I just flipped my carabiner over the top. Now I'm going to use my hook and grab the carabiner and pull it down to me to where I can access the carabiner and the rope and do some work. So I'll bring it down to me here. Now it's smart, and not always does it work, but it's usually smart to work from the ground up. When you do that, the lower branches are out of your way and you're able to get to things higher up, less things get twisted or bounce off of one another. So we're going to start with this small branch just for the demonstration purposes. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip. I'm going to get plenty of extra line. I'm going to flip over the branch that I want to trim. In this case, I can just work it down to me by flipping the rope up. I've worked the branch down to me, or excuse me, the carabiner down to me. I clip it back on itself. I pull it up and tighten it first, and then I tighten my rigging. So now that my rigging's tightened, and what's cool about this is I can work around different branches, so I can cause the branch to swing out the way I want it to. This one's not big enough to matter, so I'm just going to cut it. But here in this position, you can see where someone's cut before. They cut a branch right here, and the branch hopefully fell out far enough in the yard and the butt didn't come back and scrape the fence. But now they've got this stub that they couldn't reach, so they couldn't do a clean cut. And without a clean cut, it's just, if it had light, it would continue to grow out more. And a really cool method to use for this is if you want more light from any tree, use the 14-foot rule. So 14 feet is about the height that you want over any existing roadway. And if you take and trim a tree's crown, raising it, trim a tree's crown up to 14 feet and make it look good, that'll give you almost every time, unless it's a really broad tree, a 20-degree angle of light. So when you think about that angle of light like this angle of light, now sunlight can penetrate under the canopy and strike the root zone of your tree. If the sunlight can strike the root zone, ultraviolet light kills a lot of fungal spores, and that'll keep a lot of fungal diseases like root collar rot from ever starting and getting a good position in your tree. So it's always a good idea to keep that 14-degree angle, or excuse me, 20-degree angle of light, which is usually about 14 feet. And if you go around with a consistent 14 feet, you're going to keep everybody happy. So that's what we're going to do with this tree. We'll check back in so you can see when we're finished, and we'll see you next time.